Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azapi here, back again with My Hero Academia. I'm so glad that this show is back. I'm so fucking happy. This show has a special place in my heart because, for those of you that know, you know, but, you know, if you've been here since the beginning, it's the first show that I reacted to. And I started this whole sort of journey for like a year and a half that it's been. And it's been fantastic. And, you know, some of my best memories of reacting, you know, those specific moments have been with My Hero Academia, so I'm fucking excited to get back to this. You know, this show makes me emotional at times, especially for my boy Bakugo. This fucking guy right here is literally the bomb, and also metaphorically and every other word that you can possibly describe him. He's a fantastic character. I mean, this is the kid that's the reason why I dyed my hair this color. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I can't wait to see my boy again. And I think we need to go back and see what happened towards the back end of last season so we can get acquainted, and then we can go straight into season 4 knowing what we are expecting. I haven't really been told anything in regards to, like, if there is an opening in this episode. Like, generally, you know, some anime shows don't even have the opening in the first episode, or they have it towards the end of the episode. I don't know if there is going to be the actual opening itself, though, so, like, to avoid spoilers and things. I haven't even been told whether it's a recap or anything like that. So all of this pre-discussion might just be telling me anyway, which, you know, I don't know. But regardless, we're getting into it anyway. So we had the biggest thing, first of all, well, actually two of the biggest things, is that All Might is no longer around. Of course, that happened halfway through the last season, which is a big fucking big loss, because All Might, man. Oh, fucking hell. Take me back to that time. And then, of course, the second fight with Deku and Bakugo, which was fucking incredible. And put their relationship on a true rivalry course. So that's going to be, you know, great to see how they get on. Of course, like, I don't see Bakugo's like character changing really at all in terms of being very, you know, explosive, shall we say. Yeah, so there's that. There is the villain that is coming into this, I guess coming into this season is sort of like the villain that's going to take front and center stage almost, which is, what the fuck's his name? He had like the fucking medicine mask thing on, and he was talking about disease and all of that. I can't remember his name. I'm sure it'll come up. And then we had got introduced to Mirio and the big three, right? So they were cool, specifically Mirio, you know what I mean? His quirk and sort of the story that he has behind it about how it's not the fact that it's a powerful quirk, it's hard work from him that allows it to be powerful and stuff. So great messages all round. And is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think so. If I miss out, then I apologize. I'm sure I'll fucking, you know, it'll come up eventually anyway, and I'll get to that. But right, okay, so that's all I'm really going to talk about. If you do want to watch the full-length reactions to my Hero Academia and stuff like that, then you can do by going down in the description of my Patreon and getting the full-length tier, and you can watch my full-length reactions to the whole episode. Of course, the reaction to the actual episode will be down in the description as well for the reaction highlights, because well, last season got copyrighted on YouTube, so I imagine this one will as well. And that'll just be a 10-minute reaction highlight, okay? So, you know, so if you do want to watch the full length, Patreon's down there, and the reaction highlight is going to be down there as well. But there's nothing really else to say, so we're just going to get in episode 1 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, season 4, episode 1. So yeah, it was sort of like well, kind of a recap, sort of. I don't think it was as much of a recap as what season 3 episode 1 was, but you know, it was sort of, you know, outlining the things that kind of happened last season, and it mostly kind of revolved around All Might, really, you know, because seeing as that was the biggest deal last season was, you know, losing All Might, and the next symbol of peace was going to come, you know, who was the next symbol of peace going to be, and yeah, I quite like the whole thing they went with it, because of the fact that it was a 1-episode arc, meaning that it wasn't straight into the, like, you know, I don't think it was straight into the seasonal arc or the half seasonal arc like it normally does. You know, with obviously season 2 and 3, they had like 2 arcs over each half of the season, right? But but I with this episode, I felt like with it being a 1 episode arc, meaning that we weren't straight into getting into what was about to happen and getting the story of what I imagine Overhaul would be. By the way, I had to look it up to find out what it was. I knew it began with O, I couldn't remember what it was. So yeah, I suppose for like the 1 episode overarching thing with the journalist, so Tanio Tokata. Why do I feel like that is already a name I know in My Hero Academia? Tokata. There's something that's similar to that, right? Tokata. It's not Coda. I know that. I know it isn't. It's something else. What's the fucking murderous blonde girl called? I'm sure it's something similar, isn't it? Fuck. I feel like I know it. But the problem is that when you watch so many Japanese shows, like, because it's not my native language, you can get names that end up sounding similar across like different shows and stuff. I just feel like I know it from here. I might be wrong, but yeah, I mean, who knows? Anyway, I like the overarching sort of thing in the 1 episode because it makes the whole thing of it being a getting you back into My Hero for this season, and making it sort of its own thing. I feel like a lot of people could have seen like season 3 episode 1 is like a bit more of an annoyance and a bit more on the nose of it being a recap. But I like this one. The reason why mainly was because they set it up as almost as if Tokata was going to be like, he was like untrustworthy and sneaky, and you should like maybe he's being a bit backhanded and villain like, if you want to call it that. And then it sort of switched it up on you towards the end, and then you figured out that it just wasn't like that at all. And I feel like almost his character's design was almost like inspired to be that way inclined, especially with the eye thing. I was wondering what the fuck that was, and if it had to do with his quirk, but it does seem like sort of like I guess you could probably relate his eye to some sort of lens or whatever, right? And that's just crazy, you know what I mean? It's no wonder he became a journalist. I mean, if you got given that quirk and then just ended up doing something else, you'd be kind of screwed. It makes me, I mean, I feel like he must like the fucking work that he does, but I mean, it would suck if you were like, I hate journalism, I hate photography, and then you're stuck with this quirk. But yeah, I mean, I mean, for getting the scoop, it's kind of helpful. Though the thing is that when he's saying about like heroes speak the truth, and then he came out and spoke the truth about not being here to just be sort of passive. Like he was here on the like sort of assumption that he was going to find out who the next symbol of peace was going to be. So he came out and spoke the truth. But for journalists and things like that want to get the scoop, generally it's a very dishonest profession. It's a weird profession because I feel like it's a dishonest honest. Like, you want things to get out into the public that you feel like the public should know about, but like being dishonest in the fact that you're like trying to get a scoop for like something, like people don't know you're taking a picture of it. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, I guess he could just like act like he's not even paying attention, but then he just gets like a photograph from because it came out the back of his head. You know what I mean? It's fucking hell. This show never ceases to amaze me with like the craziness of quirks that they have. It's so weird. It's so weird. So yeah, I guess we'll go from the beginning. So the new opening, I like it. I mean, I guess if I was to like sort of put the openings in a sort of, I guess, ranking system for the people that even want that, I'll probably put number 2 as my favourite one, the second one. Number 4 after that, then number 3, number 1, number 3, possibly this one after number 3, so like in the 4th spot, and then number 1's me 5th, and then number 5 is in 6th. But that's, I mean, just because they're at the, like, the ones that are at the bottom doesn't mean I don't like it. But I wasn't really the biggest fan of the last one, but the rest of them I like. So yeah, for those of you that wanted that, there you go. So yeah, they're talking about the journalists, like the journalist building, like the journalists that were actually there. They were talking about how they didn't have anything to really talk about, and they're the last one to put out anything on All Might's retirement and stuff like that. And then she was like, well, what about the villain that he last fought, and is there anything on him? They were basically confirming that there's basically nothing on him, and that the police aren't going to give anything away. So just like when in like the very first episode, is it the very no it's the second episode when All Might's talking to Deku, right? And he's talking about how he got the how he lost like his whole stomach and stuff in that fight. It all got swept under the rug. They are keeping that away from the public eye as much as possible, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the whole thing I was talking about throughout the episode in the reaction when when Tokata basically brought up that he like All Might saved his dad and everything like that he respects All Might and stuff, that it would be a bad idea for him to fucking put the next symbol of peace or whatever out into the public eye. I mean, with the threat of villains becoming more active than ever, the last thing you want is to put the fucking like all of the eyes on Deku. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that didn't fucking happen, especially after like season 2 episode 23 when Deku and Bakugo eventually, like, they had the fight, and now they're true rivals and stuff, and you had that whole thing of, like, Bakugo's, he's not going to go out and tell anybody and stuff like that, and we need to try and keep this under wraps. That the last thing you want is that, like, 3 episodes later, oh my, it doesn't matter, because, this this journalist figured it out, and now it's everywhere. I mean, I guess it's the difference between, like, the symbol of peace and a passed down quirk, I suppose, is really the whole thing of not to really get out, but I suppose not that it really matters anyway. It's more for the other villains to figure that out, because we already know All for One figured it out, which means Shigaraki would have. So but the likes of Overhaul and things, I don't know. I mean, we know that he went to see them, right? He went to see the League of Villains, and it's going to be a question of whether or not Shigaraki's actually going to give up that information. I have a feeling he's not, because I feel like Shigaraki's always been, he's been described by the characters in the show, like All Might and stuff, that he's a spoiled brat and stuff, and that you can tell like he doesn't want anybody to play with his toys. I feel like that's the kind of character Shigaraki is. So he's not gonna say like, oh well, Midoriya, you know what I mean? Like, go and get him, because I think Shigaraki wants him for himself. He keeps getting pissed off every time Midoriya shows up, so it's clear that he's not gonna give. I don't think he's going to give Overhaul that information. I think he's going to use Overhaul as a, like almost like he wanted to use Stain, just like to kind of, like cause a bit of fucking chaos and whatnot. Just have him on the side, just in case shit does go, awry. You've got people there. So yeah, building up the army and whatnot. So yeah, sweeping All for One and all of that under the rug. Just keeping that away entirely. Again, like, because of prying eyes, people that want to go in and detail everything. I mean, if you had someone like Tokata's, the fact that he can just, he's gone through all of this and he's narrowed it down to Midoriya and he's got it entirely right. Whether you want to believe that it is actually that easy to go and do that based on the facts and the sort of details that had happened previously. I mean, if that was to get out onto a newspaper and anybody could just pick it up, anybody in the public eye, if you're talking about like, All for One and stuff, how far could somebody, without the information that we know that All Might give Deku when he was talking about how One for All came to be and stuff, how much would they be able to figure out that All for One is actually, and then from that One for All, and then this is how it all is. I don't know, but they clearly want All for One completely under the, swept under the rug and everything like that. So yeah, Sir Nighteye. All right, so I know that at the end of it would have been in the last episode of season 3, like the finale. Mirio was talking about Sir, and he never mentioned the Nighteye bit afterwards. I don't think it ever mentioned Nighteye at all. I think this is the first time it's been said. So that's his actual name. Now, by that, I don't know if I could really gather what his quirk is. I mean, he seems like a very intelligent type that's, like, sort of on computers and stuff. I mean, that could just be because he's there. I don't know if he's, if that's how we're introduced to him, because his quirk has something to do with gaining intelligence and stuff like that. But Sir Nighteye, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he works so hard that he works through the night, and therefore he's like, he's just an intel gatherer. I mean, we were told that he was All Might's former sidekick, which is interesting. And I'm very I'm a bit hitty-missy and sort of on the fence with knowing that, because at the end of season 3, when they were talking about work placements, right? I think that's the next thing we're going into. I feel like that's the arc that is coming up, now. So from the the episodes onwards, I feel like that's probably now. If it's not, then I feel like it'll be the back end of season 4. But they were Deku was questioning, fucking shit. Well, I can't remember his fucking name. Fucking All Might's bloody teacher, for God's sake. Well, I can't remember his name. It's not coming to me. You know who I mean, though. Gran Torino, that's it. That's the one. I got it. Fucking hell. I hate it when my brain does this. He was asking Gran Torino if he had anyone for work studies, and then Gran Torino said, why didn't you ask All Might? He's supposed to be teaching you and stuff after all. And then, so there was the question of who would he work under in a work study? And I think Gran Torino brought up the sidekick of All Might, and because at that point we already knew about at that point I had seen the trailer for the Two Heroes movie, and we knew about David Shield and all that from there. So I was expecting, after the movie and everything like that this would lead into season 4 and he would work under David Shield and I kind of wanted to say that after the movie. So, but now I'm thinking that he's going to be working maybe under Sir Nighteye. I think that's probably more sort of confirmed because Mirio was like, I can't wait for Sir to meet him, right? That's one of his quotes. So, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting either way. They were also talking about how, what did they say? I didn't write it down, but there was a quote like they hadn't seen each other in a while or whatever. It kind of makes me think that they fell out, and I feel like it's probably on Night-Eye's side. Like, I feel like he's probably, I don't know, like, because I just don't feel like All Might's the one to break sort of relationships and stuff, as a character. But I feel like there's like some love lost there, and I don't know why, but that's what they were talking about. So that's what I got from it. So we'll just have to see what happens there. What else have we got? What else? Yeah, so All Might came with the meat buns and all of that, and he told Deku. I love that it's never just on Midoriya. You know what I mean? Of course, he has like the most pressure on his shoulders, and that's fairly evident. It has been, ever since he got All for All. Sorry, knowing that he would get, there would be a point where he would have to just take over, and But I love the fact that like All Might never fails to mention like your classes, like the class as well. Because I always felt like I think I've said before, like another reaction to this show at some point, where I feel like the class itself is almost like the main character in a way. You know what I mean? Of course, you have like a lesser known, well, not even lesser known, but just like lesser sort of characters within the class that don't really do as much. But I'm sure they'll get their time to shine. There have been characters that have gotten their time to like always had their time to shine and stuff, and it's great. Even like the likes of Oyama and stuff in the to get the license, right? And he sort of gave himself up to get them, to get his rest of his classmates through, as like a sort of diversion, right? But he ended up getting through anyway, which is great. So you have like all the characters that do have like their time to shine. It's great that they're not like neglected just because you want to put Deku up on a pedestal. It's it's nice. It's good, because Hunter does the same thing. Recently I just watched an episode where like I was mentioning that it never feels like Gon is put up so high like compared to the other characters, like Killua is always given like the same sort of admiration, like towards him and stuff because of the stuff that he does as well. So I like shows that do that and not just place it on one character and the one character just is like OP and they just get they do everything. So it's good, it's cool. Yeah, so All Might saved Tokata's father. I was wondering, like, before they even mentioned it, that it was the because Tokata was like getting all these details right. I was wondering if he'd somehow managed to find out about the fight between All For One and All Might, like last time, where he defeated All For One, but he got like a horrible injury because of it. And I was wondering if he'd figured that out as well. But no, it was just spelling out sort of his backstory and why he admires All Might and loves him and stuff as well. He took a picture of Midoriya, you know what I mean? Like it's pre-symbol of peace. You know what I mean? So that I could see that coming back in the future. Like maybe like it could be the last shot of the show. Like put in a newspaper, like this was like back then before he was the symbol of peace, and now look at him now, kind of thing. I can see that being the final shot of the series. I don't like talking about the final shot of the series. I don't want it to end, but yeah, I can see that being the case. Deku talking about disease when Overhaul showed up in like the sort of the images. That's just great because obviously we know that Overhaul's all about that kind of disease and stuff. I need to know what the fucking kind of quirk he's got. I may have a theory depending on the ending of the actual ending, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about the opening, so I didn't watch the opening. If you want me to watch the opening, it doesn't have any spoilers in it, then I will. Just let me know. But the ending, seemingly the ending for this show, like never really gives anything away. I feel like it did a bit, but I feel like because there's a little kid girl. And I feel like she has some connection with Overhaul, where like if that's either, I don't think it's I don't think it's like relation. I don't think like they're family or anything like that. Could be, I might be wrong, but there was a moment where she walked in to a house and there was empty clothes, and then I think Overhaul popped up then, and that was the only time he popped up in the ending. I wonder if because his is. What all this talk about with Deku saying like society now is like it's almost like a disease, and Overhaul has said the same thing last season. I wonder if there's a way you can literally just like get rid of people, like because if he thinks that like it's like that people like certain people are a disease, then if he's able to just like literally get rid of them, otherwise I don't know how else. I just feel like the imagery of what I believe is that little girl's like mother or father or somebody, some relation, like that person's gone and their clothes are just there as if they were in them before, that maybe he can just like, I don't know, like just make them disappear in some fashion. That's a hell of a fucking quirk as well. We're going to need to learn like the limitations as well if that is the case, because the one thing, the good thing about this show is that when you have seemingly quirks that could seem overpowered on the surface, there's always like a drawback or a limitation, which is great, and limitations are always good to have. So yeah, it's going to be interesting about that. It also seems like Mirio is going to have a bigger part to play in this season, which is great. Well, considering the fact that we literally just met him like a few episodes ago anyway, but I like the fact that he's going to be more of a prominent character, and it's somebody for Deku to sort of look up to, seeing as he doesn't really have like that All Might as that character anymore. I mean, he can look up to All Might for the stuff that he done, and be like respect for the guy like himself, but somebody who is like the new sort of All Might at this point. You had Aizawa talk about Mirio like he was going to be he was next in line almost for the number one hero, so I don't know where you would be at on a scale of like, if you have Endeavor up there, like where would Mirio be in with that, I don't know, but Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But you know, the imagery in the ending there with, you know, the little girl between Deku and Mirio, I wonder if if it could, because it could be end up being a similar situation with Deku and Koda in season 3. Maybe it might be dragged out through a longer period. You know, like maybe because if this little girl doesn't have any family left, let's say like Overhaul killed them all. That was a nice rhyme there. Fucking I should be a rapper. But no, if she doesn't have any family, I just get the feeling like she looks like she has the look of almost like an orphan, like she has nobody there, and it makes me wonder if it could be a thing where Deku and Mirio might like take her like under their wing, sort of thing, to protect her and stuff. And that's just completely based upon the visuals of the ending. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that's it. Oh, and last one, All Might, cute. I never thought, bless All Might as well. I mean, but I never thought the character of All Might. I never once had the whole cute thing. I think the only thing I could really like sort of, I could really relate that word to anything that All Might did was when he was I think was it season 1? I think it was season 1 when they went to the. It was the first encounter they had with villains, and All Might was still at school, and Principal Nezu came in, and All Might like sort of like kneeled down and did this like little shuffle towards him. I was like, that's cute, but I mean, I just didn't. Oh man, yeah, All Might, cute. All right, well, that's all I've got. I mean, I've managed to drag this discussion out, and it could be just a case of I just like talking about My Hero Academia a lot, but you know, considering it was an episode that wasn't really like, you know, a lot happening in it, because it was, you know, it's sort of like a recap sort of thing, and it's a one arc episode, so you know, but I like talking about it anyway. But yeah, that is all I've got. So yeah, if you want to watch the full length again, you know, you can do with the Patreon link in the description. Go get the full length tier there. So yeah, I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there is the likes of Full Length for $10 a month. There's early access there for $5 a month, so you can get access to shows a week early. You know, so if you know 4 episodes of Hunt x Hunt every week as well. So you know, the general public only get 2 episodes of that. You know, so if you want a lot of those, you can do there. I've also got other tiers as well, where you can pay to have a certain show reacted to. So if you want me to react to a show, you can do there, but go have a look. I've also got a Discord as well, so if you do want to go join me on there, then you can do as well. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.